All right, so today's is going to be in 2 parts. I doubt we'll finish today, but we're going to get started today. The first step is actually not putting our name on this paper because, well, no, let's put our name because it's got to dry before we cut it out. So we'll put our first name, our last name, that's my first and last name, and our group number with a circle, all right? There. Then we flip it over, okay? There's 1 piece of tape in each of the baskets I'm going to be handing out. The next step is to trace the inside of the circle. 2 here, 2 in the middle, and 2 in the bottom. You need to fit 6 on there. They don't need to be perfect because we're going to be cutting them out eventually, but you want 6 of these on your paper, okay? Then give it to the next person and have them trace. When everyone has it traced, we can start painting our ornaments. Now the first one is red, orange, and orange. So this first one, I'm going to do that. I'm going to get my water, go to my palette. We're using dry paint, so you have to use water. I'm going to paint one side, and I can go over the line, you guys, because we're going to be cutting out on the line, so if you go over the line, don't worry. A little bit of it red, and I'm going to swirl on the red and swirl on the orange. Maybe I'll do this. I kind of overlap and blend them together so it kind of looks like a watercolor. And then I just do orange, no red. So that's my first one. I'm gonna add a little more red there. All right, doesn't need to be like the prettiest thing in the world. I promise it's gonna look better when we cut them out. The second one, orange. So I start on orange on this side. Now yellow is kind of a weak color, so I'm gonna do a lot of yellow and just a little bit of orange. Because if you do a lot of orange, you're not going to even see the yellow. Again, you can combine it however you want, but we're only using so this is a set of analogous colors, this is a set of analogous colors. Each one is 1 set of analogous colors. The next one is going to be yellow. Yellow green, again, since yellow is a weak color, we're going to do a lot of yellow and just swirl once or twice on the green. And then clean our brush and just do green. So I'm kind of blending these analogous colors together. All right, the next one is straight green. Again, I'm not making this perfect. The goal of this is just to get it done fast and get the color down. It doesn't need to be like 3 triangles within the thing. Just swirls of color. They're going to be abstract, kind of. All right, this one's my favorite one. Blue, violet, which I think is such a pretty color. And violet. And then the last one, violet, half red, half violet. Okay, now was I like neat and perfect in that? No. Did I even stay in the lines? No. When I cut out, I am going to be really careful to stay in the lines. But for this, I can still see the pencil. I know where the lines are. It's not important to be perfectly neat, okay? Then you're going to go put that in the drying rack and move on to the next step. So that's the first step. We won't cut these out till next week when they're dry. So we're going to set those aside, and then we're going to get a black piece of paper. On the black piece of paper, you do the same thing. You write your first name, last name, your group number, circle it. Then you turn your paper over. You're going to get a thing of oil pastels. There. So the first thing you're going to do, you've got this tub of oil pastels. You've got dark green, white, brown, and light green. You're going to take the brown first, and we're going to do some branches. The page is vertical. The first branch is going to start maybe down in the middle. Sorry guys, it's really hard to focus on the black paper. And it's going to kind of curve And maybe another branch will come off of it, and another branch will come off of that. And I'm going to do it a little thick, not crazy thick, a little thick. As it goes out, it gets thinner because branches are thicker near the base and thinner at the ends. I might do another one coming and hanging down. And that has a little offshoot on it. And finally I might do one coming from this side. This is going to be kind of abstract. We're not really sure what's going on with this tree or if there's more than one tree. So you can add them kind of wherever. But we don't want our paper covered in branches because we really want the pine needles more than the branches. Now, the first of the pine needles is going to be dark green. And we're just going to take it, we're going to go over the branches. And everywhere where there's a branch, there's going to be needles coming both ways. So starting in the middle of the branch, going out up, going down. All right? They're going to be basically the same length. You can make them a little smaller at the ends and getting a little bigger. But they shouldn't really ever get bigger than an inch or two. And everywhere where I see a branch, even though there's three right next to each other, I'm going to do pine needles. It doesn't matter if they overlap. They might go, like these are going right over the other branches, the other needles. I don't make a little mini needle so it doesn't overlap. I just overlap. Getting smaller as they go to the end. Again, I'm not being perfect here. I'm doing it pretty fast. You're just giving the idea of a pine needle. But you do have to remember to overlap, otherwise it's going to look fake. All right. Once you have that in, you can take some light green and add a few light green ones just for highlights. So we've got dark and light, and it looks like maybe the light is glistening on this tree and there's light hitting some of the pine needles. We don't want a ton, just a few. All right, now if you want, you can add in some snowflakes. I'm going to do a few. All snowflakes can be different. If you want to do some fancy ones, you can. If you just want to do dots, you can do that too. We'll do one over here. Maybe this one will have circles on the end. This one will have colored triangles on the end. Okay, now you want some black space. You don't want to totally cover this. So maybe that's all I'll do. Page. Because then next week when we come, we're going to cut out these circles and glue them on. And then it's going to pull together to look like a tree with ornaments on it and some snowflakes.